Good late afternoon on this scattered, stormy, cloudy, but yet still sunny as we get increasingly dark as the sun nears the horizon in the field division of Old Vincenzo and departs from the west. This is Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing, where you like, subscribe, and share. On our way, if you can believe this, 400 subscribers for one-of-a-kind, company-made, probability-based trading alert, technical analysis, and Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing bullish or bearish indicators on this rapidly expanding network that I'm building here on my radio network and company. We'll give a little bit of a shout-out to the Roseville Police Department after trying to subvert and avert me and beat around the bush. They did, in a timely fashion, conclude their investigation and are giving me my merchandise back of my ammunition, my gun box that the gun came with when I bought it like 10 years ago, and I think a magazine was in the dumpster they found. And they said I can pick it up Monday through Thursday, which sucks. They're only open 4 days a week, and they are worse than banking hours, though, so I will not give them a shout-out for this. They close at fucking 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 7 to 3. Fuck kind of hours are those, you know what I mean? But after a couple of stupid questions, the way the cop handled it, which he did actually apologize, the way he started the conversation saying he had my gun when I am, again, looking at my gun right next to my head. But no, it's not cocked and loaded. It's just next to my head, pointed the opposite way. So if the trigger did get pulled, it's not going to fire, right? I have to rack it in order to fire. But if it's in my closet when I'm sleeping, what good is it when I get shot, when I wake up and there's a guy over me? The gun's got to be within arm's reach if you're really all practically going to use it in self-defense while you're sleeping, right? Because somebody's going to startle you, whether he be next to you in your room already or in the house, and the gun's got to be right there. There's no kids running around my house, so yes, gun safety people, moms demand action, that communist group. There are no children, and the gun cannot fire by it falling down or me pulling the trigger because there's no bullet in the chamber. I have to rack it first, right? You grab it, rack it, and aim. You know what I'm saying? And as you can see, I live in Roseville, where they break into my car if I don't lock it. But they're too stupid to take the laptop. Fucking idiots. Good old classic crackhead. And speaking of crackheads, it's a great segue into Joe Biden's America, where he is bragging about his economy, that he saved me, yes, me, old Vincenzo, and all of you Americans, 16 cents on hot dogs. Okay, that shows you the brain capacity of these idiots that voted for him and who he's talking to. Because again, inflation, and this is the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, CNBC, New York Post. So you can't say they're fucking conspiracy websites. New York Post, inflation surges as consumer price leaps 5.5%, biggest jump since 2008, Great Recession and Great Financial Collapse. CNBC, inflation climbs higher than expected in June as prices rise 5.4%, trying not to be as bad as the New York Post says, fuck you, President Biden. Wall Street Journal, inflation accelerates again in June as economic recovery continues, so they're trying to spin it positively. And the New York Times, inflation rises in June with CPI up 5.4%, right? So that's not good. But this idiot right here, where's he at? Where's this moron? Where's this idiot that's in charge? Get up now. Where you at, old fucking Joe? I just seen a picture of your stupid face. Look at that. Gas. Let's go to Yahoo. Everybody likes Yahoo. Remember Trump? Duh. Who do you work for? Yahoo. Well, that's why you work for Yahoo, because you're a horrible reporter and nobody wants to listen to you, right? Tuesday CPI numbers made a splash. The index surged 5.4%. These are what I show you on Fiscal and Monetary Policy Fridays. So this is a good midweek part. Over last year, surpassing expectations by almost 5%. Core inflation, which excludes the volatile gas and food categories, which excludes, so we're up 5% when you're excluding gas and food. Well, what's gas done last year? It's up 100%, right? So these numbers are already suppressed to subvert and manipulate and push an agenda that we're not getting fucked as much as we are. And if you believe we're not getting fucked as much based on when you read in parentheses, which excludes gas and food, because gas is very expensive right now. Both were up 0.9% over last month, the biggest jump since 2008. That means both were up. We had a combined 1.8% in inflation in two indexes combined, right, in 1 month. So you extrapolate that over 12 months, you're looking at a 7% year inflation, right? Not good. Not good at all. And that's excluding gas and food. So put gas in there, you're looking at 12%, right? The big question surrounding inflation recently is whether it is transitory. No, it's not transitory. Vincenzo'S Gold Crypto Investing has been telling you that. The government can't fight inflation because they can't raise interest rates any. Once they try, the stock market collapses. That's why you see it starting to teeter right now in that rising wedge. Every time the Fed talks about inflation and they talk hawkishly about inflation, saying they're going to fight it, the stock market starts to go down, right? You know what I mean? Because it has to. The stock market needs cheap money. Businesses need cheap money. Anything deviating from the cheapest money possible is already too high. So a tenth of 1 basis point is too high because it's a tenth of 1 basis point more than it was yesterday, and the markets cannot handle that. But they're lying to you just like they did in '08 or '06 when they said the subprime market was small, contained, and isolated when that spread to the rest of the economy. Well, they were wrong. And what did it do? It was not isolated. It was the beginning of the wounds to give you a major heads up that there were major problems in the overall strength and structure of the economy. And what happened? It seeped out, the housing market popped, and we had a debt bubble. And what did the Fed do? They didn't want deflation. They didn't want a Great Depression like the 1920s. So they're trying to print their way out of a Great Depression. And what they're going to do is print themselves into deflationary stagflation. It's a inflationary depression where prices rise, consumer prices rise instead of fall like they do in a depression. But then you have the overall money being sucked out of everything, right? We have depressed growth, which, depression means depressed growth. No factories, no jobs, everyone's losing everything, everything's shrinking. But usually when everything's shrinking in a depression, prices come down with it, and that kind of slowly, as the prices bottom out, brings an end to the hardest, and it helps turn the economy around because people that saved money can now acquire things and start the process over of some guy that has some money left. He can buy a business for 2 cents to the dollar, and he can open up shop, and then he employs somebody, and then that guy gets a job, and that guy starts spending money. So then there's more money in the city, and then there's more taxes being paid, and then there's more money in people's pockets. So then another guy that was working there can acquire an asset that was cheap for pennies on the dollar, and then he opens it up and hires somebody or rents it out. See how that goes, right? It's not too difficult. But in this case, we're fucked, right? Because they can't do that. In this case, instead of having that, we're going to have all the depression because we're going to be in a depression, but it's going to be a inflationary depression because consumer prices are going to continue to rise. The price of gas will skyrocket. These things might go down initially as the stock market and everything collapses, but consumer prices and gas and energy costs are going to skyrocket as we go into a multi-year, something worse than the Great Depression. It's going to be like the 1920s combined with the late 1970s before Paul Volcker came in and had to tame hyperinflation for the time where we were getting 6, 8, 9, 10%. I think it peaked out at 16% inflation in 1 year coming off of 12% prior year. So that's almost 30% inflation in 24 months in the late 1970s. And we're going to have inflation like that, but we're going to have a depression ensuing at the same time. So you're going to be losing all your money, businesses are going away, and then the money that you have is going to buy you practically nothing. Just look at Venezuela and Greece and Italy and the whole European Union and all that shit. That's what you're going to have come here, and it's because these scumbags doing what they're doing. And just like they lied to you back then, saying it was isolated, they're lying to you now, saying it's transitory when it's not transitory. Now it's gone on for 7 months, and it was supposed to be getting better by mid to late summer. If you go back and listen to the Fed from late November, December of 2020, all the way through the first quarter, which would be March, April, he was saying by late summer, mid to late summer, on into early fall, these numbers as they come in month over month and year over year are going to be going down and trending down because as we got deeper into 2020, more of the economy was open. But as we get deeper into 2021, when things should be starting to lighten up, you see this. It's higher than expected every month, and it's by more. Expecting going to inflation numbers focused on energy costs, like Vincenzo's been telling you, energy is going to skyrocket, especially if you pay for it in U.S. dollars, because the dollar is going to be debased, right? Impacts on the CPI numbers in preview, blah, 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 making up 40%, blah, blah, blah. It appears the June increase was more broad-based in nature, which means more things were going up. Spillover into the core components of the CPI, noticeably service components, shelter, for instance, blah, blah, blah. CPI is slowly marching higher, with June's print showing an increase of 2.6% year over year. Wrote, used cars and trucks prices have increased 45% over the last year, which signals the largest move ever. I've made, I don't know, $10,000 on my truck this year, which is insane. So the guy should have stole my truck when he broke into it. I would have been fucking happy. I would have got a huge check. But this is transitory. We had 50% rise in equity in a car. And they're Joe Biden saved you 16 cents on hot dogs, but your car costs 50% more than it did a year ago. You can take that 16-cent hot dog and shove it up your ass, Communist Biden. Only communist brainwashed liberal retards, morons, believe in what this idiot's saying, and they think everything is great, right? Because they print money. Well, if printing money worked, everyone would have a printing press, and we wouldn't need money. Everything would be free, right? And the liberals would be like, well, what's wrong? Everything's free. Like, they can't even figure that out. Here's how you confuse a liberal for 3 days. Why things can't just be free. They're going to go crazy. They won't be able to figure out why things just can't be free, and we're not going to tell them. And blah, blah, blah. So you can see they're fucked. This inflation is fucked. Your coins are fucked. Your Dow Jones is fucked. Your U.S. dollar is fucked. My gold is fucked. Everything is fucked because they fucked everything up. Bitcoin collapsing. Dogecoin. I told you 16 cents in Dogecoin. Look at that. Well, Vincenzo told you. Another one Vincenzo got right. Just like this inflation. Look at that. I don't know what that is. The jabroni got all fucked up. The jabroni killer. Oh, he's not a monthly. He's a daily time frame jabroni killer. Check it out. We're going to go back. Bam. And he'll be back. But remember, Vincenzo told you, you're coming down. All you idiots. All you scumbags. Bam. You're coming down there. This is going to be the easiest technical. I told you you're going down a mile. And here. Did you bite? The arrow's telling you where you're going, right? Going down to whatever that is, 0.0, very low is what it says. Ethereum, I told you you're going down there. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love.